Hello, everybody. This is your captain speaking. Rafael Chacín as no es el Capitán, Rafucho, and welcome to the adventure. Yes, sir. And now, this is right now, Civil and Black Experience. And I know that I had to go for it. And thank you very much for stay tuned at this point right now because I just wanted to tell you thank you for the reception. Thank you for the love, the support, and respect over the last two episodes of Civil and Black Experience with Rafael Chacín. And I know that I had to bring it back to the Raiders podcast because this is going to be like really excited. And I know I've been kind of nervous, but this opportunity, it's getting involved a lot of bigger. And over the last two episodes, we had some special guests like Mr. Fit 714. Also, they got West Coast Pirates, Real Man Raider. All these incredible guests are talking about for the Raiders, giving their thoughts about the previews and everything. Because over the last two episodes, we just got it. It became like really awesome. But right now, we had a difficult task that's going to be on Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. And that's we're going to face the team, which is the first. They steal the number one, which is the Miami Dolphins. That's right, Miami Dolphins. And this Sunday afternoon is going to be like a really excited. And I know that the offense and the defense, because what I got to say about it, expect the unexpected. And right now, we have some special guests on the stream right now because this is the first time. You might know him as a part of the fans tailgate, but I know this is gonna be like a battle between Captain versus Captain, but we just seem like at the different teams. So right now, let's give it a round of applause for this guy right here, from the part of the Fiends tailgate, straight out of the hottest city of Miami, Florida. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. El
What's up,
Capitan.
buddy? Capitan and
Hey.
Capitan. Finally, it comes. What's happening, buddy?
I'm definitely good right now. So thank you very much to join us at the special episode of Civil and Black Experience, because right now it is the opportunity to see what's going to happen between Sunday afternoon between Raiders versus Miami Dolphins on a Sunday afternoon at the hottest city at Miami. Now, after the Miami Dolphins, they just lost against Kansas City Chiefs on Germany, which is an international game. They still at the number one at the position because they just beat with the New York Jets, New England Patriots, and of course they got Buffalo Bills. So let's just get involved for the rival right now. So right now they're still at the top of the conference at this first place, despite they just lost against for the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. So what do our reaction about the still they're hitting the number one at the conference, which is the NFC East?
So, listen, Dolphins did drop a win or a loss to the Bills earlier in the season, but since that game, the Bills have been on shaky footing, and as of late, they seem to be a team reeling from injuries on defense, and the Dolphins handling business. We've only dropped 3 games at this point to the Bills, like I just said, and the last 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl. So other than that, we have not only handled business, but there's been games where we have absolutely showed up in a massive way, running up scores, things we haven't seen from the Dolphins in years past. We would see this team play down to the opponents that you should beat, where now they're just unstoppable against them. So there is a lot of good things. When I look at the Raiders coming to Miami at home, their offense at home has been mildly different than how they've been on the road. They've really just been a high-powered offense, and getting a guy like, in potential, it's not 100%, but it's really looking like they're going to get Devon Achane, their 1-2 punch to Raheem Mostert. And Devon Achane, as a rookie, has had limited playing time, even taking a short role in the beginning of the season, getting some action, getting injured. He's still one of the most productive backs in the NFL after only playing like 4.5 games all year, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And expect what it expected. That's that's the opportunity to take it on the test right now, because right now it seems that they're still at the top, at the first place at the conference AFC East right now, and we just have it like a difficult task to beat the Miami Dolphins, because we just beat the New York Giants and the New York Jets. That was like the big statement. But right now, it seems that they had to go for like another change to the go for the offensive line. And it seems that because right now we had Aiden O'Connor, but right now it seems that we had a difficult task, which is Miami's quarterback, which is Tua Tagovailoa, and it's very good right now because after they just dropped him, I mean, they didn't make any mistake about right now, because the about with the selection, I mean, they had the biggest debate out of this go for it. I mean, there's some huge numbers of the career of Tua Tagovailoa, but it seems that we just have it like a comparison between the quarterback. And I know that Aiden O'Connor just won for like 2 games and it became the unexpected to win as a back-to-back games. But it seems that they're going to among from the best teams right now, because they have it like a dragon coaster so far. Because you guys had still at the first place, but they just stand for the class of the NFL. I mean, they're just considered like pretenders. They present like the same graphic and same stats, and they're not beating a team above 500 yet. But they only had 3 tracks, and above for the preseason, they considered like one of the worst schedules of the league. But they still had the top tier teams at the end of the tier to break the 10. But at the same time, they didn't make it out the schedule. The quality of losses that the Dolphins had overlooked, because those 3 losses are getting high to the best quality teams. But right now, there's not going to defeat like over the 500 crowd. They're like best of the best. I mean, that could have happened. I mean, they have Las Vegas Raiders. They had once again New York Jets. I mean, they had to go for the back for so strain and got everything, because they're like a bunch of consistency about which is either, because they just have like to go for the defense and the offense. They're being consistent, and the only team had to go like being the contender, because might not had to go lower for the rest of the teams, but they had to go to the favorite in those games. But they are striking a distance to beating anyone in line for the deep playoff round. I mean, that could happen.
Sorry, man, my dog came barging in. Oh,
Uh,
he came barging in. He just blitzed on me.
yeah.
Here's the thing with Tua, especially hands down, having a record year to his career. So is Tyreek Hill, but Tua looking in his second year with Mike McDaniel in this offense, that our new coach, and you kind of touched a bit on it there. There was some questions early in his career. Listen, no one questioned him more than me, dude. I was questioning whether this guy's cut out for this league in a lot of ways, especially when under the previous regime. There was a lot going on, but there was some flashes, some good things at times. And then now, once they made the coaching change, new coach comes in, the system changes. Tua is his strengths are really shining out in this new system, but also I feel like he's getting better. He's growing. He's getting bigger, but he's also growing and sharpening his game. He has confidence. He's rocking the cornrows right now. He literally has got cornrows in his hair. He's a different guy, and he's taken ownership over this team and this organization in a leadership role. And that's part of it. And in this offense, when he's cooking, everybody's cooking. So that's just the facts.
Yeah, that's exactly, because everyone know that they're gonna be like a strong contenders. But for us, we just established about for the running the game, and I know the culture of Antonio Pierce as a head coach, because they're no longer the Patriot way. It's gone, because the experiment we just got between Josh McDaniels and Deb Saylor, they're no longer assist, because the experiment it's already dead. But right now
We had the same experiment in Miami, the same one. That Patriot way, there's successes in some ways, but ultimately, amongst grown men that have lives and jobs, that is a hard sell for that type of football of these guys. It's becoming fewer and far between, and you guys are the latest team to have the Patriot way experience fail. That Bill Belichick coaching tree is got rotten fruit all over it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Because I know that you guys had Mike McDaniel, and we just had Josh McDaniel because before Antonio Pierce came in right now. But I think the culture about a new coach, a new breed air for the Raiders. I mean, there could happen a lot of things because we just made like a great statement. I mean, the culture is bringing back for the city of Oakland, California, because Antonio Pierce was a former linebacker for the New York
Mm-hmm.
Giants. And I know this is going to be like really exciting how to kind of prove about the defense and the offense. I mean, this could have happened like this one. I mean, it's it really happens when it comes to the defense and the offense. Again, like a shocking culture. They're going for like 2-2. But right now, it seems like they have a tough test, not only between Tua to Ikla, but also they got a difficult test that we can approve it, which is Tyreek Hill. I know for us, for the Raiders, we had Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, we have Hunter Renfrow as a wide receiver, but you guys had Tyreek Hill as a former Chief, and right now they have from the Miami Dolphins. So I think that the clash between Devontae Adams versus Tyreek Hill isn't about more intensity and speed. I mean, it could happen.
So, first of all, the Raiders on paper always looked like a good team, and they were a different beast. They got players, man. You guys got players on both sides of the ball. Tell me more about this new quarterback that's come in since Garoppolo's gone down. What's up with this? It's O'Connell, right? What's his deal? Like, is this guy has he any threat with the throwing? Because I know Renfro's numbers are completely non-existent as of this season compared to years last. I always felt like, yeah, they brought in Devontae Adams, but this offense did its best work when it went through Renfro as the possession guy. It kept everyone spread out, and that allowed guys on the outside for the Raiders to be successful for when Carr was there, just lobbing them up. And it seemed like if Devontae Adams and that thing would have worked out, that's how it would have gone, but it never panned out. As the loss of Darren Waller caused this offense to be so one-dimensional now, or is it just the miscommunications with Jimmy Garoppolo and Devontae Adams, and now that you have a different quarterback, this guy it isn't able to make this offense sing? Tell me about this offense with the Raiders. I want to know, because I haven't done as much scouting as of late that I would usually do on a team. So give me some insight.
Yeah, because right now I had to go to the C for the comments right now. The C. There it goes. Anthony Estrada. Here's Leo. How's it going? Leo, salute to you. Anthony Estrada, yo, what's good, my guy?
What's
Leo and
happening,
salute
guys?
dog. Also the guy Leo. Raiders Raiders gotta make a statement, be with the finesse team and take that W. And not only I just have on my YouTube channel, but also we just having like on the channel, the Films Gate channel right now. It seems that we have some company right now, which is here for the chats right now. I mean, it seems like we had a salute to the Shake Money, Bill's Fake Crime Noise. Also, we got Culler Commentary, Shake Money, Luis Amador. I mean, there's a few in the chat right now, so salute, and I appreciate about the love because not only we just had my channel, Rafael Chess, and also at the channel, the Fins Tailgate. And I know this is gonna be like because what are those keys? Because we had to establish all for the game right now. And Aiden O'Connor has a great arm. Nobody has done something about for the whole years. And it's gonna happen like a lot of things could happen on this quarterback because you guys had Tua Tagovailoa. But Aiden O'Connor is very different. I know he has a great arm and he's gonna fit in off for the wide receivers and the running back, and he's gonna establish all these games as a quarterback because it's not easy to go for the rookie quarterback to establish it about the running game and fitting up for the wide receivers, the running back, all these things that happen because it seems that over the rookie quarterback establish it about for the defense and the offense and make it like a state clearment.
So
Hmm.
if in this matchup, the Dolphins versus the Raiders, if the Raiders beat the Dolphins, the statement of that to them is far and away more of a statement of where the Raiders are trending. That if the Dolphins were to lose to the Raiders, it would be like, man, the Dolphins dropped one to an opponent that's got a little something going on right now. But then the other, on the flip side of that, if the Raiders beat the Dolphins, the NFL world would be like, man, what's going on with the Raiders? The Raiders just took the Dolphins out, a top team in the AFC East, an offense with weapons that would make any offensive coordinator blush, and make any quarterback's life, to be envy. And then at the same time, the Raiders looking up and up, and who is this quarterback, this O'Connell guy? I have a lot of questions. Like, what is he? What is he going to be? I, I don't know. I don't know enough about him. And I guess when you think of it in that aspect, that's what makes guys like that potentially dangerous. Nobody really knows enough about them. They got a 2-game sample size. You can go back to look some college tape, things like that. But I mean, bro. So it's definitely. But this Dolphins defense with Jalen Ramsey healthy back in the secondary, along with Xavier Howard, who just a few short years ago had the most interceptions in the NFL. That 1-2 edge on the outside against a young quarterback who's kind of thrusted into this role, having success, but let's call it for what it is. You guys are, not scoring touchdowns by his arm. It's more field goals and edging out games with this defense. The story's going to come, is this Raiders defense for real enough to slow down the Miami Dolphins offense in their house? That is a tall order. Because I know the other point, because their Raiders defense is going to have to be so good, not just to slow the Dolphins defense or offense down, but put their offense in advantageous situations to score easy points to win a game, because I know the Miami Dolphins defense is going to show up. They are on fire as of late.
Yeah, exactly. And I know this is gonna be like a rookie because before we had Jimmy Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer, but this is like a different breed. And at the Silver and Black, they have the both games right now. I mean, his ability to make pretty much throw the hardest ability to stay unpredictable has led to the offense running much smoother than they did for the first 8 weeks because they had a whole week of practice because they had to very connect with the offense. Because what did they say? They got a full week and kind of they got the schedule together for that organization. And O'Connor, during for this press conference, he has mentioned how he admires Bo Hargreaves' work ethic. Hargreaves seems the film study is one of the significant tools as he's gonna play on Sundays because he watched a lot of film and his dad is a high school coach. College football on Saturdays and it's gonna happen for the Sundays. I mean, it's happening for the fun time. It show up with it something. The confidence of the guys they here for a 5x5 short yardage on whatever it's called for the third, fourth down. They have done a great job executing. And they're gonna pray it because there's like a twist. The core is the core. And the part of the season is very advantageous to stick to the terminology that I know that's purely that at the first minute they had the execution and the confidence to get into it. And those are the issues about the previous and coaching staff, the offensive style. It's the priority. They're gonna bring a fresh set of eyes for the remaining teams or the schedule to not be prepared enough about it. And there's another special backstage right now. And I know it's on Adrian Chrome because it's gonna be like an echo, but I know this is gonna be like a really fun right now. So he's the other part of the film's tailgate, but we not see but everything could happen. So I mean it's gonna be easy at all, but let's get a warm welcome to the one and only Culler Commentary. Let's see what it
Good
got.
evening. Good evening. By the way, I do have earbuds in, so I'm hoping the echo is not going to affect us.
I don't hear an echo. Do you?
We've been seeing the warning about that bug too. So yeah, I've got some earbuds in to mitigate that. How you doing, Rafael?
Yes, I'm doing good right now. So we're just talking about for the Miami Dolphins versus Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, expected was the unexpected. I mean, that could have happened for the defense and the offense, but right now it seems that we had Aaron O'Connor, which is like a great execution, that we had something to give it. And Tua Tagovailoa is very superior as a very elite quarterback, but it doesn't seem like they had the arms to go to the beat like a rookie like Aaron O'Connor. It seems like there's something about impressive right now. So the Raiders defense are showing up with their intensity. And right now, there's a tough test between the Miami Dolphins. They're still remaining the number one with Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and of course, some for the defense right now. So, can you tell about the thoughts about how the defense and the offense could be like the key to about for the game between the Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins?
Well, I really think that, if I were to look at this, because we've been in this, the Dolphins fans, we've had a team in the past several times that are in the situation that you guys are in right now. And we had an interim head coach a few years back where we got a couple big wins, and we were riding a high and all that. But look, you guys are 5-5. So obviously you've been able to win 5 times with this football team. And two of the wins that you got are with this new head coach. And it's really going to come down to, can Crosby disrupt what we do on offense enough, to maybe get you guys a short field a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
The rookie quarterback's got to take advantage of those short fields. Pepper that in with some special teams. That is going to be the avenue for the Raiders to pull off some kind of crazy win here. It's not that I don't think that the Raiders. I think the Raiders are a great put together football team. I just think in the history of the NFL, it's really tough to win in these situations unless you play out of your side of yourselves and you play
Yeah, exactly.
with you play in those margins where that can accrue you points while you're holding down the other team. That's really going to be the key to you guys. I mean, also we've got a fully healthy secondary right now, the likes of Jalen Ramsey, those types. That's where I would have asked. I wanted to ask you what you thought about, because I don't follow the Raiders deeply. So, how what perspective were you guys drafting this quarterback in? Is he just a late round pickup, or is it some kind of thing where the organization maybe sees a future in him and the fans like him, or is this just a
Stopgap guy. Yeah.
stopgap, or a guy that you expect to groom as a backup? I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
how does Raiders Nation feel about the guy?
I mean, that was a very interesting question. I mean, before the draft right now, which is happening like experiments on the linebackers, the defense, but we just draft between Aaron O'Connor, which is a quarterback from Purdue, which is the same college that are the game with Stuart Scheinberg. Remember the safety from Purdue? I mean, Aaron O'Connor, it just became like a different breed. And we just see like during the preseason. I mean, this is something that I was unexpected. And for me, Aaron O'Connor, it just became like one of those best picks because that was a late pick. And I was giving
Yeah,
into
you
to
guys
the
got him in the 4th round, right?
yeah, that was into the fourth round. But they just built like a great chemistry because that was just like the backup quarterback. And I know this is gonna take like a great shot and everything. I mean, they're building out for the chemistry when it comes to wide receiver. And I know he's 25 years old. He's number 4, and he's from Illinois. And he was going for the football with the Purdue Boilermakers. I mean, over the last 3 games, we just seen like a very improvement. And I don't know why the Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler they just put the back up because they just fell in love with Jimmy Garoppolo. But I see like the new bread of Antonio Pierce and of course Champ Kelly getting used for the internet. Like they just made like a great spark. And I mean, for the quarterback perspective, that was something that I was getting bothered by that. And I repeat like it every time that I see this is like the bright future of the quarterback because we're just tired about these the same quarterbacks with no like long shots and everything. I mean, Eden Okada, it seems like they had the opportunity to take over for the new generation of the Raiders. And I have something another backstage right now. So I know it seems like very important right now, but not only we just having a much fun on my channel, Rafael Chacín, but also at the channel of the Films Tailgates. So let's give it a round of applause for this special guest right now to give it a thoughts about Raiders versus Dolphins. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Hey, salute.
That's what's up, man. Let me try to get in my headphones real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to tell you about it. Thank you very much for the chats right now. We see it up. Hey, how's it going, Red Band? Leah the Sade. Let's see what I got for the comment right now. Renfro declined due to having a true wide receiver and now two wide receivers. It's hard to see where he fits now that we had talent at the wide receiver. We haven't had since Captree and Cooper. And of course, we see it up. How's it going, Tony Shepard? Raider Nation Chasing, salute to you. Leo says, I'm not going to drop my 2 cents in the fans chat. Yeah, hit the like button. Also, we got for the chat of the Films Tailgate right now, it seems that Bobby Supreme, our defense look good against Kansas City Chiefs. Also, Leo said, coach and team going Brenda by it, even their uncle look, Jenny out straight out of the Compton. Also, Flower J say, did you that Jacobs? I'm running back on my fantasy league. Also, there's a lot of stops in the chat right now. It is seems like, oh my goodness. It is seems the biggest question is what's up with Jacobs? And those I didn't kind of look decent because of the past 2 games, bad Giants team and that Giants game. The quarterback added the corner, it seems like they have a great impact. And Bobby Supreme said that the comment said, Raiders not beating us, especially not at home. This team and the same team that I have Fitzpatrick are much better, and we still won the last match of LOL. I mean, I don't know what is happening right now, but I see a lot of comments on the chat right now because it's not only.
I think you know what, Raphael. I think it's because I'm giving y'all too much grace, man. They're like, Color, what are you doing, man? What are you telling him he can win for, man?
So I would say this. I would say
mean,
this.
look, you guys got Devontae Adams. You get the ball to Devontae Adams in open space, anybody's got a chance to score. You know what I mean? So you can't overlook that.
If I could, I'd like to address what Leo was saying in your chat about Renfro's decline because of the weapons around him, and I agree with why that's his decline. I just thought this team's offense hummed a lot better when it ran through him as the possession guy underneath. It just seemed to work. It got the linebackers to get deep, which opened up your run game a lot more. And I think they're especially with Garoppolo, they kind of I don't know what they did. They're using I don't know why the offense hasn't looked the same. I do know that if you want to be realistic, under Pierce, your interim head coach, Culler kind of alluded to this. You know, teams take the identity of their coach. You get a player that's now the head coach. Teams are always showing up for that. They really do what they're doing. We've seen this exact scenario in Miami, what Culler was talking about, and it really helps that he has this connection to the game. These guys will follow him. They're getting up for it. But this is a real Dolphins team that's going to give them a lot of problems at their house. And I can't see how, with the stats I'm looking at from the quarterback, 200 yards, 160 yards against another opponent, they're limiting him, under 30 throws a game, which is smart for a young guy, a 4th rounder at that. Smart to do, keep to the run game, play tight defense. I just don't see how they're going to be able to get that to happen against the Dolphins. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's it.
it's a tall order, Raf. It really is. It's a tall order for this Dolphins. Now there is something saying where we've seen teams come out a little flat out of the bye week. You know what I'm saying? Takes them a little while to get the juices flowing. If your team could run up some scores or get some good turnovers at that point, you could really get a shot. But it's just gonna be a tall ask for the Raiders in
Yeah.
Miami.
Which that kind of
What's up?
leads me into my questions. First of all, good evening to the panel.
What
I
up,
don't know if you guys
Sharif?
can hear me. Hey,
Good
man.
evening.
What's
What's
up,
up?
buddy?
What's up, El Capitan? Thank you for the invite, Rafael. Color, great questions. And I'm going to try to one-up Color here. I have two questions. You
All
as a
right.
Raider fan, when it comes to when you is there an urgency to get the ball into Devontae Adams' hands, or you feel like it's a waste of money? That's the first question. And the second question is Jason Peters. Does what does he remind you of? Is he like a Revis Island, or is he like Patrick Surtain? What does he remind you of? So that's the two questions I have.
Hmm. I mean, that was a very interesting question about for the first one and the two ones, because Devontae Adams isn't just like a waste of money. I mean, that could be like a key enough. I mean, for my perspective about it, of Devontae Adams has been like the glue for the defense and the wide receivers room, along with Jacoby Myers, also for Hunter Renfro. And about for the Jason Peters, I mean, that guy, he was playing for the offensive tackle for the NFL. I mean, that dude, he was so very huge at all. Because that point right now, that's if it became like very dangerous right now, I mean, he was just like with the Seattle Seahawks because I know he reminds me that there's something about that, but it's very key about it. I mean, if you can buy because for us, for the tackling and all these stuff, so for the linebacker, we have Robert Spillane, which is like the glue for the defense. And it seems like it reminds
Mm,
me of like something important about Bill Romanowski. They have the very dangerous tackles, but it seems that the Robert Spillane has another different breed. And I know I had to go for the interception game along with the New York Jets that Zach Wilson it just came like a lame throw and boom, that really came for the interception for the Robert Spillane. I mean, they have the best on the
mm,
field. And not only about that, because we had Trey Tucker from the draft of 2023. And look at this for the highlights of Trey Tucker. Best on the field, the fastest, and they take care on the ball. They have the three turnovers. I mean, it's something that I was accompanying everything because they had a career season about the last year, but I know they had to go the different breed. But I think that Aaron Connor and Devontae Adams, they had a great chemistry. But it seems that I'm very confused about because you're talking about Marcus Peters as a linebacker. But I don't see that the Marcus Peters is team like because I know he go for like a great game against for the Green Bay Packers, but it seems that their style into the game is getting like very difficult because we just drafted the car for the Baltimore Ravens to the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, they had some badges at the trenches, and I respected about it. And Leo just said about this one. Jacobs is key. Ball control, long drives, and touchdowns can lead defense on the field too much. And check this out. Adams had a career season last year having no quarterback like Jimmy and Hoyer handled what he can do. With O'Connor, that will change. And I know about that because having with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer, how the hell are we going to do about it? But with Aiden
right,
O'Connor, things are really changed right now. It seems that the quarterback had the greatest chemistry when it comes to fitting up with the running backs
right.
and the right receiver. I mean, that
The,
could
the
have.
re-
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why I asked that is because we had a period of time with Skylar Thompson, and we felt at that time, some of us, most of us, that we were wasting Tyreek's time because of the ability of the quarterback at the time, which was the backup quarterback, Skylar Thompson. So I ask you that in that Aiden and his talent, and then you have a wide receiver who's being paid the most. At some point, you're going to want to get the ball off, force feed him the ball. Is it come to that point for you or for some of the fans? Because you got to get this guy the ball, or else we're wasting money.
Yeah, I know this is something that I was because we have some really talented players like the running back, the wide receiver, and of course the quarterback, which I know is going to be like a bright future for the Raiders. But it seems that we have the best talent, and we just bring it out for the back for the culture, and we're getting the focus at about for this strong play. I know this is the NFL. I mean, they have playmakers on the both sides of the ball, and the defense has been done for a limited damage done for both for the Giants and the offense. But right now we have some difficult tests along with the Miami Dolphins. I mean,
Mhm.
look at it this one. The Dolphins, I mean, just look at it. Because right now, the Dolphins offense is very scary. Raheem Monster has over 10 touchdowns as a running back. In Miami, they could have Devon Chin back this week on the outside, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill on the best wide receivers, while Darren Durham and Varsity he can make an impact. But the secondary has continued to a strong play and had to bolster for the arrival of Jack Jones. If us, we can limit the damage of the passing game, we have a chance to surprise some people with it to come to this matchup. And I know that it's something had to go for the best. It seems that the Miami Dolphins are going to be a favorite, and Las Vegas Raiders will be like the underdogs. I mean, that's pretty much that to go for it. And it seems
12
that
and a half.
it's 12 and a half. But for me, Aiden O'Connor cannot afford big mistakes early on. And I know they still don't know. Putting like the quarterback for the Western counterparts, but it seems that that kind of stuff will not fly. They have the very most explosive offense at the out football, but if the Raiders rookie quarterback throws to the ball for them or fumbles, they give it like a good field position. Hopefully he did against the Giants, where he took care for the ball leading up for the victory. The defense may not as good as the Jets. I mean, talking about for the Dolphins. The Dolphins defense, they're not be as good as the Jets, but they have playmakers of their own. So this is like the battle they must win on Sunday. I mean, including like the lights out Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. I mean, Aiden O'Connor cannot afford big mistakes early on. I mean, they cannot limit the passer to the go for it after run after run after run. I mean, I couldn't imagine about that.
And so, one more thing I think what you may want to look out for, and what we, meaning Color, myself, El Capitan, and the fans in the comments, when we lose games, we look for the fast start to come off the schneid. And so, fast start meaning we're up 14, we're up 7 nothing first quarter. That's how we roll. And so, we're looking to come off the schneid this week and start fast. So, we're looking to really come off scoring early and quickly. And so, when you see a team like us think like that, and you said like O'Connell has to protect the ball, get the ball into the receivers, uh, let the defense give him good field position. But this opponent wants to get off to a fast start. What is your thoughts, then going into this game?
I mean, our secondary team, they has to go for it. I mean, they have brought a lot of experience, and it's just like a must key on that game. I mean, Pierce and Bo Henry had done for the night show established Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams at the focal points. But for us, for Raiders, we're gonna pull off the major upset. I mean, those two men had to break out games for the silver and black. We had to establish to run with Jacobs and get involved with first downs and keep like
Yes.
first downs. They will
First
keep
downs,
the.
they will keep the.
I just see him like an
Just
egg.
seem like an egg.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So if for us, we're about to pull at the major upset, two men had to go to the breakout games for the silver and black. We had to establish more to the run for the Jacobs and getting tough first downs, and we'll keep the offense off the field. Establish it about the Adams and the passing game because the defense are back up for the little bit. I mean, combination could be like the difference of the Raiders if they had to look for their biggest regular season since the final game of the 21 regular season. If Jacobs and Adams go off on that game, I would expect it to go for a down, for a back, down for the wire. I mean, they have to face the top task because this is the week 11 against the Miami Dolphins. I mean, this is going to be like expected, the unexpected. I mean, it could have happened like this one. But if it comes to the key of success, because it's been laid by Max Crosby all season long, as when the quarterback pressures, and it's gonna make it a bit for the defensive player. Because unlike the other season, he's not the guy to make it like very impact on every week with Robert Spillane as the defensive player of the game. But the defense, it will be like the key on the victory on Sunday against the Dolphins. And the strong effort they could have put the rest in the NFL notice. Because if they're going to finish or the preseason wide on the schedule against Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to firmly say they're making it for their playoffs after the season. I mean, they had to prove their pulse because the first two tests, they would have come down terrible because it had the severity issues that they go for the sake. But right now, we're seeing like a new look defense has been pushed the ball for the limits. I mean, it could have happened like this one. Yeah. And of course, we see like at another comments right now that it seems that you limit the pass and the damn monster and a chain gotta go at run after run. Joe races say, where his cheeks? No, I don't think so. All right, so Flava J is in the building. Mudphone, Manuel Rivera, electing Gnome, also Shekel, Jim Richard. I mean, there's a lot of comments on that chat right now. It is in 7-1 since Dolphins in Ramsey gonna eat Sunday. Will we humble the interim coach and quarterback real quick? I mean, they're gonna happen. So right now, El Capitan Chris, Culler Commentary. So I just wanted to tell about what their really thoughts are about how the offense and the defense could really improve after they just lost against Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, what's it about for the key for the victory on the week number 11 on the Sunday afternoon? The keys on the victory probably of Miami Dolphins versus Las Vegas Raiders. The keys.
So offensively, run game. I know it seems like you guys, it would be such a focus on stopping the passing attack, but you know, last year the Dolphins' offensive attack, it was the passing game to open up the running game. This year, it's not fully switched, but to me, when this run game is popping, there's no stopping the football team because you're gonna to come up and try to fit gaps on the run. You're now leaving somebody in coverage, man to man, that Tua will find that hole, and you're in trouble on that. So the run game to me for the Dolphins, and defensively, I mean, listen, it's a young guy. All the defensive line's got to do is put pressure on him. He makes a couple of errant throws. We've got guys all over in the secondary that can snatch footballs out of the air, and some of the best in our top two corners and our safety. Because Javon Holland's sneaking around back there. If there's a ball and a duck sitting out, he's going to snag it clean out of the air. And if this kid, throws a back shoulder type throw or throws a pass short on either one of our outside corners, they're going to turn around and grab it. Both of them are very capable of stealing footballs. So that's it. Pressure on the young quarterback and offense run game, sticking to the run game and using that, especially if Devon A-Chain is back. Now, for the Raiders on the flip side, what they could do to prevent the Dolphins from snatching victory is if the Dolphins come out sluggish because they're out of a bye week or overconfident potentially. If the Raiders come out quick and figure a way on offense to get some points up to then allow their defense to try to, keep this game within hand and then get to their run game, maybe they can figure a way to try to drag the Dolphins into a dogfight late in the game where it's about field position, run game, and chewing up the clock. That's the only way, because or the Dolphins completely shoot themselves in the foot, turning the ball over, costly penalties all over the place. That could be another way. But anything outside of those two scenarios, I don't foresee them. Now, if your quarterback just shows up and shows out and he's a brand new guy that no one saw coming and just lights up the Dolphins for 400 yards, no one's seeing that. But if it happens, then yeah, obviously you guys could win something in that. But even then, you're going to still be in a dogfight potentially with this offense to match somebody trying to put up 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, whatever it is. So I don't know. I don't foresee that type of game coming to us. I think the Raiders got a real tall order on both sides of the ball and in all areas, not just Tyreek, not just Tua, not just, we got to run the ball. We don't care. We'll fit up all the gaps and leave everybody out on islands on the outside if we want to. So it's very difficult to play this team on both sides of the ball right now, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, Color.
I would have to agree on the defense. The only additions I would make is for us on defense, we just need to play sound football in the secondary. We need to play sound football on the line. We need to make sure we tackle because Josh Jacobs is a good runner, a good hard runner, and he's going to be the key to keeping our offense off the field. And the thing of it is the Raiders have to find a way to hold on to the ball as long as they can and cash in every drive for a touchdown. Because if they start scoring field goals, they're not going to be able to match Miami touchdown for field goal and win this game. On the flip side, for our offense, look, we've just in these big moments that we get into, the Bills, the Eagles, the Chiefs. I've been heavily on record saying that I don't really think those teams beat us per se as much as we beat ourselves. Buffalo, you could say, yeah, that's it. We have mitigating things like injuries and stuff like that on at that point in the season and whatnot. That's all water under the bridge. But when it comes down to it, if it's going to be up to guys like Crosby to disrupt what we're doing on offensive line enough to where we start making mistakes and shooting ourselves in the foot. And then it's up to the offense to cash in on that. As far as you guys being able to manifest points, that's going to have to come from your defense. And that gets back to us on offense of playing sound football, not turning the ball over, and just getting the ball in the hands of our playmakers.
Yeah, exactly. I agree about that. And of course, we just have like a new look defense, and we just got with a brand new identity, we just give it back to the old essence of Oakland, California, and that feels great. That feels great and all. And I just realized that the Raiders defense and the offense, they show up because they brought a lot of true colors. The offense and the defense, they're really showing up. They're really stepping out to the game to the next level with Max Crosby. There's Robert Spillane. Also, we just got a new inclusion of Jack Jones, which is a former New England Patriot, which is this is something that I was getting involved, and I just really thought that something is going to happen like this one, but the defense and the offense are going to show up for like a lot of times. I mean, they're going to happen a lot. And of course, before we're going to wrap this out right now, because right now we just see, look at the comments right now. Essential comment is say, have you ever seen Blaming the Q is buried Tony Hawk against the Pizza Hut truck? Oh, you mean about for the video game right now? They say, Checkle, that's what Purdy did to us. Dolphins for life to say, let's go Dolphins. CC ready to say, Tua beat us. Also, I see a lot of comments right now for the chat of the Fiend Tailgate channel, and I appreciate about that because not only we just getting liked out with the channel of Rafael Chacín, as known as El Capitán Rafucho, but also with the channel of the Fiends Tailgate on YouTube. Now, the last question before we wrap this out, I mean, they're gonna be like a serious question. Are the Miami Dolphins gonna be like the strong contenders for the Super Bowl? Because it's been something truly like remarkable and not going to be undefeated. There's like a chance to see it go for the big stage, to go for the end of the season to another Super Bowl ring. Because the last time you guys appeared in the Super Bowl, it was in 1985, and for us, for the Oakland Raiders, before they moved out to Las Vegas, the last time there was in 2003 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers with John Gruden as a coach. And the last Super Bowl they just won, that was in 1974 against the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, it became like an after a comeback win, but many players had such a Tyreek Hill, they panic. They said they're never panic button. There's no pressure at all. There's no pressure at all because that team has something special to watch for breaking and creating records, like putting up at 17 points against the Denver Broncos, setting like with a record for yards in the season for the first 5 weeks. And now they're fighting back for the rest of the season, but they're showing out over the last what they mean business. The ethic is very unmatched, and Mike McDaniel is looking for a way to improve it himself because there's only team they're constantly talking about for the standards, nothing but themselves. But also they just fell short of expectations early. They just went out there and did the jobs. You could expect it if they're going up and everything. While the Super Bowl is gonna be like the ultimate goal, getting there for the continue for the bats or the priority that the bad luck has struggled the Dolphins over the last 3 decades instead of the coach of the peaking in for everything and things that are good in nature. So I gotta tell you something. Are the Miami Dolphins gonna be like the contenders for the next Super Bowl if they got Mike McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, and Tua Tagovailoa to get him build a strong enough for the defense and the offense?
I mean, that's the goal, right? That's the goal. I mean, anything short of that is failure. If we're being realistic as Dolphin fans, we were in the playoffs last year. We were in the playoffs the year before. Or excuse me, no, we had a winning record the year before. The right now we're number one in the AFC East. We take care of business and find ourselves with 12 wins. We could be second, maybe first in the AFC if we get lucky in that way. But that's the goal. We need seeding. We need home field advantage. Salute, homie. And we need to win victories in the playoffs and find ourselves with a shot to go to the Super Bowl. I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but where my expectations sit, win the East, get the best seeding you can get in the playoffs to do anything you can possible to try to make the road to the Super Bowl go through Miami, because this team at home plays completely different than they do on the road on offense. Not that I don't think they can't play that in another house, but late in the year it gets cold. If we can keep it for home cooking in the playoffs, and yeah, the road, if we're number one or number two in the AFC in the playoffs, then yeah, that goal becomes a much more obtainable reality in my eyes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I've been on record to say that I firmly believe that given a high level of execution, which is the key to any football game, but I really don't think there's anything that would stop us from or stops us from having the ability to beating anybody in this league. The thing of it is we have another chance to prove down this stretch that we can actually, that we're not afraid of success, and that we can stand in those shoes and move from a team who's, like Capitan pointed out, had a winning record now for a couple years in a row, to that next step where you can be proud of what you're putting down on the field, as you're getting a good game with us. That's all there is to it. And that's all anybody could ask for, to have the chance to contend for a Super Bowl, because that's what a Super Bowl contender is.
Okay. And of course, I had something in the backstage, but I put in right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you, because this is the first time being here on my stream right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the ultimate Raider fan 32. How's it going?
Doing well. Thank you, guys.
Hey, salute,
Appreciate
homie.
Absolutely. Salute everybody on
Salute.
the panel. Appreciate the invite. I'm ecstatic to join, and I can't wait to talk that talk, man.
All right, so the ultimate Raider fan, because right now we got almost to 1 hour. So, give your thoughts about for the Raiders versus Dolphins, and what they are the keys for the victory for the Raiders against Miami Dolphins, which is they still at the top of the position at the conference and AFC East.
Yes. So I think our season is shaping up to be a perfect test on every level. And each game is very specific for us. And I think it helps us gain another stepping stone to where we eventually want to be as a team, just in general across the board. What I love about this game for us is the fact that we're not playing that type of defense that we just got finished having to play, which is going to make everybody look bad. People had a lot of, talk about O'Connell, right? What he didn't do or the lack of what he did, right? All those things. But if you check his numbers compared to every other quarterback in the league that's played against him to date, he's got the better numbers. That includes Mahomes, Herbert, right? All the big shots. So I think he's going to have a chance to shine. If it is a shootout, which, again, on the flip side of it, now we're actually playing one of the best offenses in the league. And in my opinion, I think it's without a doubt the most genius one. The problem that the Dolphins have is staying healthy. Flat out, I'm just going to say it, right? You got a track star team, but with that track star team comes lack of size. Lack of size usually creates injuries in a lot of ways, for the most part, if you will, right? That's why they don't go out and get these little guys, if you will. But they're not hurt now, and they're all playing on Sunday. And that's going to be a problem for us on defense. So we're getting our real true test this week on the defensive side of the ball, which we haven't gotten yet. And, the buildup is looking to be great. And on the flip side, right, we got a better chance at showing off our offense a little bit more. And give ourselves a chance to have a shootout, if you will, and get a W and bring it back home.
I got a question,
Yeah.
Ultimate Raiders fan, if I may, Raf.
Absolutely.
May I?
Yeah.
Real quick, because I know you're trying to shut it down. Are Raiders fans really? They're really this quarterback, man. This guy is that much more head and shoulders gunslinger type. Is he a gunslinger? More of a thing. I mean, that's living and dying by the sword. Not to say that don't give you a shot. I know this.
Right. Well,
man, this Dolphins defense got some dogs on the outside.
No, I agree. But let's be realistic. Let's be real, right? Are we going to objectively say they're better than the Jets defense? Probably not, right?
Yeah, I would say our corners to the Jets
there.
corners. I know they got sauce.
Your secondary is going to be good, but that front four, bro, I don't see
the Jets,
many other
the
teams.
Jets front four.
I would encourage you. I would encourage you to lighten the sample size just a little bit and take away the Chargers' run game performance for our defense and look at our numbers as compared to the top 5 defenses in the league. After that, you might be surprised.
Right. Well, hey, and Eckler is a dog, man. So I mean, it's not like right. So
we played them week 1, 2, and our defense was in a new scheme. So
and we've also been decimated. We're talking about the first time our coach is working with these guys, and we're already getting back to the levels where we're shutting down the likes of Patrick Mahomes, which hasn't been a great. I'll admit, hasn't been a hard feat to do this year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the offense they had.
Exactly. Sure. And again, I'm going to
I was just
going to
say URF.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say that seeing that, I know we talked about Max Crosby, right? Austin Jackson is one of these dudes on our team who we were trying to give a bus ticket a couple of years ago. And what he's done this year is Pro Bowlish. And so I don't see a way where Max is going to be able to disrupt anything. And if he goes to the other side, you have a week of practice with Teron Armstead. Austin Jackson ain't allowing nothing on his side. And if you go to Armstead, you're going to get wisdomed out that way. So That's my 2 cents on if Max Crosby is going to disrupt anything. What do you think about Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson as our tackles?
Yeah, I think you guys got a solid offense. It's one of the best in the league. Period. I'm as objective as they come, gentlemen. Again, I'll look at your guys' record and the teams you've beat. None of them, I think, have winning records, right? Or they're slightly above winning. So, again, you guys have some tests as well, right? We all do. It's only, halfway a little bit. What, a game halfway over the season? So.
To be a little tongue in cheek, we have now lost to a bad team. So
Yes.
officially, so that actually qualifies us as an upper echelon team now.
He's calling the Bills a bad team right now. He's taking a shot at the Bills.
Well, since all the good teams always give up that one game to a bad team, I think we've graduated now since we have lost to a bad team.
That's a good point. It's an interesting point, man. I think this is a great game. Believe it or not, Miami is my second favorite team. My whole entire family on my dad's side is from North Miami, Overtown. So I grew up playing in the concrete jungle out there as a kid, which is definitely partly why I myself was pretty successful as far as my football career is concerned. So, yeah, Miami is my squad. So, again, I can be more objective with Miami than any other team in the league, it being my second. And I think y'all have a squad, but there's some holes, right? Everybody has holes. I'm
interested to see this quarterback of your guys, man. You guys are hyping him up pretty good.
Well, this is the other thing about the quarterback that people aren't aware of. I forget who his quarterback coach was at the time, but he said by far, he's the most accurate quarterback he's ever coached in his life.
So we got some real accurate quarterbacks coming into this game, is what I'm hearing. Because Tua accurate. This O'Connell get kids act, and he's a big boy too. He's what, 6'3", 200 plus.
Exactly.
He's a big boy.
You're absolutely right. And he can make.
How's his running? How's his rush attack? I don't know.
He's terrible.
He's terrible. All right. Okay.
He's a statue. No, absolutely. He's not somebody that's going to move. He's not that type of quarterback in any way, shape, or form. He's a pure pocket passer that is gonna understand how to get rid of the ball. Yeah, I thought the Jets game was a great test for him. I really did.
Good defense. It's a real good defense.
We didn't have our best tackle, right? We didn't have
Jacobs went off though. 100+ yards in that game. You guys gave him the rock 27, 28 times. Kept it balanced. The quarterback had 170 yards, something like that. Like, I get it. It was good game plan. You know what it is? The Jets have beaten teams by grinding them down into a dogfight on defense because their offense sucks. Right. And you guys beat them at their game, which is something to say about how the Jets have been squeaking out wins.
Exactly.
So if you can drag the Dolphins into that, if you can drag the Dolphins into that fight, I think
that's what you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see a shootout. What I think you're going to see is a running attack like no other. And I think our guy JJ finally gets that breakout game that he's been looking for and keeps the ball out of your guys' hands. That's what I'm expecting the game plan to be. Oh, of course, absolutely. But that's what I'm expecting the game plan to be.
Oh, it should be the game plan, because that would be my game plan against the Dolphins.
Ironically, that's actually my betting game script. If I were to take off my Dolphin hat and be as objective as possible, if I were to, like using somebody else's money, that's my game script goes right along the same lines as a couple seasons ago when we faced the New Orleans Saints with Ian Book, where it was like we should have destroyed that team. You know what I mean? It should have been like 42-7, but it ended up being like 20-3 or something, or 20-9 or something like that.
Right.
I kind of see this game going the same way. We're coming off a bye, probably a little lax. We'll get a little slow start. Y'all will score some field goals and run the ball down us for most of the game, and I think we'll end up just throttling up. And getting the job done. So that's kind of where I'm at. My score prediction is 22-9. for the Dolphins.
The only pushback I give into the dogfight narrative, which the Patriots kind of did that to us. We beat them at home 24-17 in a dogfight with them, how they do it. But other than that, if teams can't drag us into a dogfight and we start racking points up, I think Dolphins have outscored opponents, including the 17-24 victory. They're outscoring opponents at home by like 24 points a game.
Yeah. It's like I told Raphael, you can't find yourselves in a situation where you're matching our touchdowns with field goals. That's bottom line.
If your defense and or offense at any given moment is running, like it looks like guys are running in every direction, you're in deep trouble. That's all I know.
Well, and believe it or not, that's precisely how we beat the Bills last year in Hard Rock. Was it simply got to a point where a lot of it had to do with weather, but it came down to their last drive. Their offensive linemen were collapsing on the field, and they could only muster a field goal out of that drive, and that was the difference in the ballgame. They couldn't match our last touchdown.
One other quick point, as you were asking about our quarterback. The one last thing I'd like to say about him is he literally can make every throw, and I mean accurately every throw. And last but not least, he actually has the ability to out throw people. I forget which game where he hit Turner on a long ball that he had to dive for to catch, but nobody has out.
Well, that's gonna make Devontae Adams very dangerous for us. You know what I mean? Bottom line.
And then again, when it comes to your front line, we're getting Colton back. I think you guys are going to be tested quite a bit on that back four, because again, give this kid a little bit of time and let him have the ability to throw that thing out there with the burners we have. Your DBs are going to be tested.
On the same token,
Raph, I gotta ask
real quick, Cap. We've had internal struggles in our fan base about early on when we first got Jalen Ramsey about the washed narrative and all that, and I've been firm from the beginning that I believe this guy is only at half his career. He's like I believe he's like Deion's. I think he is truly Deion Sanders when it comes to his longevity and as far as his excellence. He's going to be like Deion in the respect that he's going to be the best anybody could be until he stops playing. You know what I mean? And it's already panned out in a couple games, where it's like, yeah, we're locking down the secondary now, bro. I believe in Jalen Ramsey so deeply that I just can't imagine. Bless his heart, he's a rookie, but I just can't imagine him overcoming our secondary right now.
No, I understand. I mean, you gotta remember, I understand you guys have the track team, without a doubt. I'm giving you guys have the speed, but as far as natural ability for route running, etc., I mean, let's keep it 100. Yes,
Adams is a monster, dude.
Exactly, and so is Jacoby. Jacoby is that's a big kid. I don't think people understand.
We've handled Jacoby not too bad.
Yeah, we're used to Jacoby.
I'm not scared of Jacoby. It's Adams I'm afraid of, because he's kind of like how A.J. Brown is, who gave us trouble as well.
Right.
Raph, I got a quick question, because the ultimate Raider fan here, he pointed out about your offensive line going to be testing our D-line. Would you guys say you're more of a power on your offensive line or what? Because I will say this about our D-line. We're more of a speed defensive front on our D-line. We got big guys that can fill up gaps like Raekwon Davis, but even respectively, he's not a house of a guy. He's giant, tall, but he's not like a wide dude. He's a ripped speed kind of guy. All of our is that where your offensive line has had more success against speed guys, or is it because I see you had success against the Jets, and the Jets they're not so much speed. They're more bully you around on their front four.
Exactly.
The Dolphins are a little bit more speedier with the way we rush. We pass rush, stunt moves as of late. I mean, even Christian Wilkins lost weight to get a little bit more light in his feet for this defense. So I'm just wondering about your offensive line and what they match up well against.
It's, in my opinion, it's actually too early to discuss what our offensive line can do, because we really only are 2 games in. You know what I mean? Let's be honest here.
Right.
These first games previous to these two games, nobody played with passion. Nobody played together. Nobody played with a purpose. Everybody hated going to work, right? There was nothing in that locker room. And that's what's so crazy about what's happened. And how
I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's what makes your team dangerous right now.
Yeah,
Exactly. I agree.
Makes your team dangerous to me.
Totally agree. I totally agree for both of you.
Nobody knows what we're good at right now up front,
and that's why we just need to execute and take and play our game and let the chips fall where they may. You know,
I agree.
Do you agree to those sentiments that it's literally this wave you guys are riding on? Is that in confirmation? I see him. It's in confirmation.
Yeah, I know. But in my point of perspective right now, I mean, the offense line has really improved. Because if you see like the offense line with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, it didn't work. But right now, which is a lot improved right now. And without the captain, which is Colton Miller, which is our defensive tackle, I mean, things are getting changed about for the offensive line. And I really thought this could have happened for this moment. I mean, the offensive line is getting a lot of improvement right now without the captain corner, without the Colton Miller. I mean, this gonna for far is gonna be perfect. They're pursuing it, and they help the star running back Josh Jacobs rush. Well, also they're protecting the rookie quarterback Aaron O'Connor in those key moments. I mean, Jermaine Eluminor, they just switched it for right tackle to left tackle. I mean, it's not going to be easy about for the middle of the season or late, but he did it. He did like a champ, and they gave like the best fight they put it out. They gave like the opportunity to win through those games. I mean, whatever it takes to do for one, they're willing about it. And it wasn't a pretty at all, but they just keep believing, they just keep battling each other. I mean, hey, Russia Max Crosby knows how the good online group was season one because they not having been proud of it, but the groups go against some practice. Because it either the front, the defense in general, I mean, they're working their asses every day and they're happy about it. So I just see like an improvement for the offensive line because before for the preseason and of course for the regular season, along with Josh McDaniels, it seems like it's very weak. But I guarantee, but about that, it's just getting like it involve a lot of more because they brought a lot of passion, they brought a lot of blood, sweat, and tears when it comes to Antonio Pierce, and they brought a lot of great things to the pro about the offense line. It comes to battling, and without the captain Colton Miller, I mean, those times are getting tough right now. I mean, they're really stepping up for the game for the games along with New York Jets, New York Giants, and they're very battling each other with gun for the competition. I mean, they have a huge setback for the pace of the one to the front severe because because they perceive it as one of the best and they have very strong and I know they're very dangerous a lot of for this one. And yes.
And I'll follow that up by saying, look, we're in a position where we're the type of team, what good teams do, what Super Bowl contenders do, is they stop young fledgling teams' momentum like that when things like that happen. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you guys pull off the improbable, which it is improbable, Matt, like statistically, look, y'all are about to be the Cinderella story this year. That's real deal stuff.
Well,
I'm not going to sit here. I mean, I'll be livid for my team. You know what I mean? But I ain't going to take no credit away from what you guys are doing. In other words, that's something that can be ridden, given that you only have 5 losses.
Man,
you can still make it in. You know what I mean? So,
and the other thing, I don't think you guys
Cinderella story.
You guys are looking at the flip side. Just as much as we've just explained why we're going to be dangerous offensively, it's the same thing defensively. We have not been play calling the way we've been play calling. We've not been scheming the way we've been scheming these last 2 games because dipshit, excuse my French, was too busy holding everybody back, playing his system.
I don't know
and
what you guys were thinking about getting that guy.
And that's my point. You guys have no idea what to expect on defense. We are literally out there flying around like maniacs right now. I mean, that Giants game, we had 8 sacks. I don't think we had 8 sacks in 2 years.
That was crazy.
Like, that was just one game. Even the Jets game, we haven't allowed people to score. We're ranked top 10 defensively right now in a lot of categories. Mm-hmm. Like, things are very different, and there's no way you can tell me that you guys can properly game plan for this after only 2 games. I just don't see it. I don't see it. It's no different than what you've seen with Brock Purdy and the 49ers, right? He did his thing because they had no tape on him, and then guess what happened? They realized he's most comfortable on the in routes, so they started taking that away, and what did you see? Pick City. But give the young guy
a lot of that had to do with Christian McCaffrey's cutback. Let's be real.
Right, but I'm just saying these are the games that you play, right? And that's why I agree with you guys.
Especially being at home, you're right.
You guys are playing a rookie, so I expect y'all to confuse that.
And look, the upper echelon teams, bottom line, the true Super Bowl contenders should be able to play their game, and find a way to stop that momentum.
Mm-hmm. The Raiders beat the Dolphins, and the narrative is, what's going on with these Raiders? Look, this team people need to pay attention to. The Dolphins lose to the Raiders, and it's the Dolphins are really frauds. That's what.
That'll sure be the narrative. But we're over at the tailgate. Most of our guys are of the thought that every single game is a must-win. It don't matter if you're playing the Arizona Cardinals or the Kansas City Chiefs, because the fact of it is, we have stuff to prove, to continue to prove we're a contender, not just by beating the good teams per se, quote unquote, by doing what we need to do this week, which is put y'all's narrative behind us and take care of our business. You know what I mean?
Exactly. This game should be a statement game for you guys, and I think that's why it's such a great game. It's honestly a great game on so many levels. But you're absolutely right. If everything goes according to plan, right, and you're objectively looking at this game, you guys win by 2 touchdowns. That's what I see. And I can objectively say that. But with that being said,
I don't blame nobody taking the points on the Raiders. I don't blame nobody taking 13 and a half, bro.
I don't know what the spread is, but I guarantee you.
I don't care what the NFL game is, bro.
Well, it started at 12 and a half. It's now at 13 and a half. So people are laying the points with the Raiders for sure.
There's no way. Yeah, I'm definitely betting the Raiders in over. I'll put it out there.
But just keep in mind, the smart money was saying that about the 6.5 with the Broncos too, bro. I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean?
I've been lucky, man. I'd rather be lucky than good every day of the week, man. I've hit both of my bets the last 2 weeks when it comes to the Raiders, as far as the Raiders and under both games. I hit them both, right? Raiders.
Yeah, taking the under on the points might be the way to go this week. Dolphins 100%. Could come out slow. Raiders try to drag them into a dogfight. Next thing you know, this is we get 20-21 victory type of low victory.
You know, the funny thing is, you could take one of those smart money whales, right? Take them in a time machine back to before the Broncos game, and they would still take the 6.5 points. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right. So I just wanted to tell you that thank you very much for having us on this special episode on this Silver and Black experience right now, because we had some special guests. We had the ultimate Raider fan 32. Also, we got Capitan Chris for the Fiends Tailgate, color commentator. And of course, we got Sharif for the Miami Dolphins. Also, thank you very much for those 30 persons in the chat right now, 30 persons watching on the channel of the Fiends Tailgate. I mean, that's really impressive right now. So I just see for the comments right now. Salute to the Mud Bun, the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, GB21. Also, we got Eccentric Gom, Joe Wrist, Crypto Dolphins Super Bowl. Salute to you. Also, Shekill, Manuel Rivera, CC Warrior, also Shekill, Dolphins for Life, Ryan Ape. Thank you very much for the love, for the support, for the Capitán Rafucho. Also, last thoughts, because we're going to wrap this up. Where can the people can find us on the social media? First, we got El Capitan Chris, then Color Commentary, also the Raider Fan 32.
So, final thoughts, prediction: Dolphins take care of business at home, and I think it was 27-13. I think the Dolphins offense catches up in the second half. I think our run game with A-Chain really pops off, and when it's all said and done, the Dolphins have ran for almost 200 yards on the ground, really making the Raiders thinking that they're going to drag us into a run game dogfight and find out that we got a hell of a run game. So that's what I think happens. Thanks for having me on, Raf.
Yes, exactly, Capitan. And where can we find you on the social media so the people can find your stuff, all the contents for the Miami Dolphins fans?
So everywhere on every platform, we just opened a TikTok. You can go to tftgnetwork.com, the website, or you can look up for the Fins Tailgate anywhere on social media, anywhere but Facebook, because Facebook don't like me apparently. They don't kick me off Facebook. But Twitter, YouTube, the channels on YouTube, the Fins Tailgate, 4 words, and you'll find us there.
All right, so the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, where can we find you on the social media? And of course, the prediction for that game against Miami Dolphins.
Yes, sir. So the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, all one word, on YouTube. My website for apparel, goods and so forth is theultimateraiderfan.com. And then pretty much everything else, Instagram, Twitter, rights, all the Ultimate Raider Fan 32. What I think is going to happen on this game is that we are going to shock the world. I do think we're going to win 31-27, and it's going to be in great fashion. I see JJ having close to 200 yards on his own this game with a couple of touchdowns, and I think they're going to focus on Davante Adams, and you're going to see some bombs in this game that's really going to open some eyes, which is going to cause this to be a shootout. And I've already said I'm actually going with the over, but us, as far as, right, just because of the points you got there. I think we're going to outright win the game. So I'm riding high with what we got.
All right. So thank you very much for having us at this silver and black experience between Las Vegas Raiders versus Miami Dolphins on that Saturday afternoon in the hottest city of the state of Florida, Miami, at 1 p.m. This is Rafael Chacín, as known as El Capitán Rafucho, with some special guests, El Capitan Chris from the Fins Tailgate, Culler Commentary, Sharif, and the Ultimate Raider Fan 32. So have a great night, have a great weekend, and of course, on this Sunday, Raiders versus Dolphins, any given Sunday, this is going to be like really interesting. Defense versus offense, coaching versus coaching. This is going to be epic right now. So, with that being said, have a good night, folks. And of course, it's been like another episode of Silver and Black Experience, another adventure with Rafael Chacín, as known as El Capitán Rafucho. Make sure to subscribe to Rafael Chacín on YouTube on my road to 1K subscribers. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Capitán Rafucho, on Instagram at El Capitán Rafucho, and Twitch at Capitán Rafucho, and of course on YouTube, you can type Rafael Chacín, and boom, videos, reactions, live streams, everything. So that being said, have a great night, folks. And of course, with that being said, for the last words, just like Al Davis says, just win, baby, and make the best team win. So have a great one, folks.